Hey everyone, I'm Sarah Fish.
And I'm Brandon Price.
And this is Fish
or Price Ranch.
Hey everyone, I'm Sarah Fish. Welcome back to Fish or Price Ranch. First off, please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. So in this video, we're going to be doing the third video in our series, and we're going to be talking about purchasing stock, research, and disease testing. So when you're first looking for a goat to purchase, once you've figured out the breed that works best for you, look at a lot of breeders. Don't just find the closest one or the cheapest one near you. Look really carefully and find multiple breeders. Look at reviews. Do they have anything negative against them? Are they just selling just to make money, or is it the actual care of the goat that's important? So you don't want to buy the cheapest or free goat that you can get. A lot of the times there's a reason for that. Occasionally you'll get lucky, but there's a reason that they're this cheap. So you definitely want to find a breeder that's reputable, they're known for having good quality stock, and, make sure that it's something that you really want before you buy. If a breeder's trying to push you into a sale, it's probably not a good idea. See if you can look at the farm that the goats are coming from as well. You want to try and get goats that are being raised in the same situation that you plan to raise them. As far as like if you're going to get forage based goats, you want to see that they're going to be in the same kind of climate, or at least the same grasses that they're used to already on the farm that they're on. It can be very stressful for a goat to move to a new farm, and if you're having to change the feed up as well, it could be even more stressful on their digestive system. So if you can keep things the same when the goat moves, it will make the transition a lot easier. Another thing you want to look at before purchasing the goat is you want to look over the goat completely. Feel for any lumps, bumps, scrapes, cuts, bruises, anything, and also check their famachi. You want to make sure that they're a nice, healthy goat. You don't want any diarrhea. You don't want any worm load on the goat. And also another thing is disease. Disease in goats can spread like wildfire. And so me personally, I disease test my entire herd every year, and anything that comes in that's new gets disease tested as well. You want to make sure that you're getting a good, healthy goat before bringing it home to your own herd. Also, you can even ask for test results from disease testing. Any farmer that disease tests should be more than willing to share. If they're not, that would be another red flag for me. The three main diseases that are tested for in goats is CAE, CL, and Johne's disease. These diseases are not treatable in goats, and they will spread through the herd. And the goats are typically culled if they come up with some of those. There are a couple that you can manage, but for me, I'd rather not even risk infecting any of my other goats. So if there's anything that comes up with disease, they're immediately removed from the herd. So typically when buying goats, you have to decide whether you want commercial stock, which means unpapered, or if you want registered stock, which, they can come in all forms of different type of paperwork depending on the breed that you're looking at. Right now, goat prices are quite high, and for commercial stock, they will, off of my farm, they typically range $300 to $450 per goat. There's a lot that goes into raising goats. It's always nice to get a free or cheap goat, but you run the risk that there's something wrong with the goat for it being that cheap. There's nothing wrong with having commercial goats. Papers, you can't eat those. But the papers are nice if you're going to want to be breeding for quality stock and you want to keep track of their lineage. So if you're not looking for that, maybe you just want to raise some meat goats, the paperwork probably doesn't really bother you. You can just raise commercial goats and raise them up for butcher. But if you're going to want to be breeding for quality stock, it's always good to look at the paperwork and find exactly what you're looking for and have unrelated stock that you can breed together. So after you've purchased your goats, after you've looked them over and they all look healthy, and you've brought them home, even if they're disease tested, it's always a good idea to quarantine the goats away from either your herd that you already have, or if you're getting new goats, to quarantine them away from where you actually plan to house the goats. The reason for this is you want to check the goats for at least a week or two, make sure they're not going to get sick from the stress of the trip. Or if you're going to also retest, which I do, we disease test anything that goes into the quarantine pen, and then we make sure that they're clean before they go join the herd or go into the new pasture that they're going to be living in. You don't want to risk putting any disease in your ground, especially if you're starting out with a fresh herd. So typically goats need a good forage base, so whether you're going to buy some Bermuda or alfalfa or orchard grass hay, depending on what you're breeding them for, you can get grain, but they don't always need it. A lot of the times people will grain their goats if they're heavy milkers to keep the weight on them, or if you want to grow your goats really, really fast. But here at Fisher-Price Ranch, we keep ours grass-fed, so they just get a hay and then whatever forage is out in the field. We do also keep out loose minerals. A lot of people think that a mineral block for a goat is enough, but it really isn't. They need a specific loose mineral for goats. Goats need a lot of copper, and a lot of your basic typical minerals for general use don't have enough copper for goats, and copper is very, very important. So we actually use Premier One Supply. They have a goat mineral, and it's very affordable, and it has the most copper I've ever found in a mineral. It has a lot more in it that they need that I've not found in any other minerals. So check that out. You want to keep this out 24/7 so they always have access to it, and they'll just lick it whenever they feel they need it. The only other thing your goats are going to need is fresh water. You guys have already seen my shelter video, so you know how to do that, the fencing. So now you just get to enjoy your goats. I hope that this was helpful for you guys. We will be having 2 more videos in our series. We'll do one on milking for sure, and then I'm not quite sure which one we'll do on the next video. But definitely keep an eye out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.